if I die tomorrow. I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations could get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
Hey,
what's going on?
What is up? What is up?
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
Yes, Tuesday. It is Nerds Night. We are one shy. He is out walking the mascot of Nerds because it is both Pepper and Willow. So he is out walking Willow, and then he will join us afterwards. Hola, Aurelis. What is going on, George? What is up?
What's up, guys?
What is up?
Today we are going to talk a little bit about stuff that we've missed that we wanted to cover in like the past few weeks, but these past few weeks have been jam-packed with shit to talk about.
Oh, so, it is Pong.
And we got Pong. What's going on in the building?
Listen, like this is a very like Thanksgiving sort of jam fest with Nerds of the Round, a potluck. I like that. I like that. Like, I say, let's all have a conversation. So, like, if there are things you want to talk about or comments that you have, I'm only saying this because I have not watched Cowboy Bebop, and the whole point of this was Nerds Thanksgiving Bebop, and I haven't watched it yet, so I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I would really, like, it'll be one of those nights. Like, remember when Aurelis showed us that diner? Like, she gave us that diner, and we were like, "Yo, what is going on?"
Yes. Has anyone watched Midnight Mass? That is on my list. I'm finishing up another show. Oh god damn it. Yo, what got me more mad? It happened just before I was in Discord and Kid was just like something family. And I was just like, Kid, I expected more from you. Kid, if you're listening, if you're watching, still disappointed.
Indeed.
As far as announcements, let's do announcements. We have some announcements. As always, subscribe to the YouTube and Twitch channel. Look out for the podcast dropping very soon after we do the lives. They'll come out within the same week, usually right after. I know we still have a couple of creator episodes yet to release. We're a little behind on those, but they will be coming out shortly. What else do we got?
We have Medusa's Cascade.
We have the Medusa's Cascade. I'm doing the intro this week. I'm very excited. If you guys have not caught up, we are at episode 53 this week coming up. We are post the Curse of Strahd. And we are now entering the Save the World redemption arc, I guess, if you were. And let me see, what else are we got?
I knew something was missing. That's why I was like, I'm looking at myself. I'm like, where are my glasses?
But yeah, I'm trying to think what else we have. I think that's about it. I don't know if there's anything. I would say that's it.
I mean, we've got, and also upcoming live episodes we will be on throughout the holiday season. Obviously, we will be talking about the new Spider-Man when that drops on
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye starts, I believe, next week.
I think.
Week? Actually tomorrow.
If I'm not mistaken, let me see. November 24th. So tomorrow.
So we'll be talking Hawkeye episode 1 or 2 if we're lucky, and it's a Thanksgiving miracle.
Yeah.
We'll get 2 drops of Hawkeye hopefully tomorrow. And we'll talk about that next week, and we'll see how we feel about Hawkeye, aka Die Hard, in the MCU, which I'm very excited for.
The only days that we won't be live are December 28th and January 4th. Those are the 2 weeks that we're gonna take off for the holidays, kick back, relax, and just enjoy ourselves. And then we'll be back with full force with a vengeance in January, right around the time for my birthday. I think it's like 4 days before my birthday would be the next live. So pumped about Hawkeye. I am genuinely like excited and curious to see what they do. From the clips that I've seen so far, they're showing that yes, one, that he wears earbuds because he's lost his hearing, but 2, he does sign language. There's a clip, a very brief clip with them in the car figuring out who's driving and whatnot. Too early for we are months away from our birthday, but thank you, Christian. Too early. We just putting that out there.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
What is it gonna be? 35?
Oh no, 34. 34.
34. Okay. All right.
But yeah, so there's a scene with him and Kate Bishop doing like sign language to each other, arguing, and I'm really excited to see like and explore if they do like more with that, and like if they explain why his hearing is out. Because I think in the comics, like we know why. I don't know if in the MCU they've really done it. I do know that like there's brief moments where someone try to like say like he's always looking at someone, so he's always kind of like reading lips. So that's kind of how, you know, I kind of remember 34. Kind of.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
Soon coming.
No, we got the old man River Seabass will eventually be joining us.
Yeah.
And he is the resident old man of the group.
We're the young bucks.
Yes, indeed.
But all right, let's get into some of the stuff that I know we've been wanting to talk about, and we're gonna start off with Shang-Chi.
Let's do it. I mean, I know Seabass was gonna jump in because me and Seabass actually did not get to watch Shang-Chi in the theater. Right. It was when the whole theater thing was going on. We were really banking on Disney Plus, and that was not the case. However, Shang-Chi became a pretty much commercial success, and Disney has probably decided that all movies will now be releasing in theater, and I'll be going to the theater again. So.
Yeah, but you guys have more options, I think, because you have the drive-in.
It's amazing. So I'll tell you straight up, in the sticks of Jersey, there's no one in the theater. Me and my wife saw Eternals, as you'll know. Right. We saw Eternals like the day of our review. We went to the theater, and there was no one in there, and we just got to sit wherever the hell we wanted to sit. So it doesn't really matter. I would say Spider-Man will probably be a packed house. Because it's Spider-Man, and we're probably gonna go pretty soon because we're gonna go with my son, because he's a huge Spider-Man fan, and I would say that's gonna be packed. Everything else though in the sticks of Jersey, empty. We can sneak into theaters. We can take it back high school and just go and sneak into theaters. Oh, you son of a bitch! Are you drinking coquito?
Yes.
Oh, that's why he was late. He wasn't even walking the dog.
I was walking the dog. This was my reward.
Bro, lies.
Listen, the resident old man is here.
Threat these days. Not really.
Even not everybody. Really. Wait. This is the pre-Thanksgiving Thanksgiving Bebop episode, so you know. Salud.
Fuck you. We don't have nothing.
He's just drinking coquito. Like I don't. God. You know what? I mean, I'm not gonna complain because I can just walk over and get some. So I'm sorry, Law.
I can walk over and go to Joe's house and get some too, but like I'm not gonna.
I thought you seriously gonna say that you could walk over and get some too. I'm gonna be like, dude, that's a mighty long walk.
Nah.
I mean, who would? Okay, so how long would it be? Would him walking to South Jersey be faster than Atlas driving from Michigan to New York? No, our boy is currently driving from Michigan to New York to see Law and then to go and then move up. So I thought that was kind of crazy. But anyway, we are digressing. Seabass, you were here. We did the announcements. We did all the fun stuff. I'll tell you straight up, I haven't touched Bebop, so we could talk about it. But I'll be here.
I feel like this is.
We're gonna. Let's prioritize. We're talking Shang-Chi.
Let's talk Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
and then we're gonna get into a bunch of other stuff that we've had on the docket for a while now.
So yeah, me and Seabass saw it because of Disney Plus release, the 60 days. I gotta say, I have a new favorite villain for MCU.
Oh yeah,
I gotta say they did it right. They did it right.
Yeah,
like Shang-Chi's villain build-up made was like compared to Eternals with the main deviant. I was just like, what happened?
Yeah,
like we had this pinnacle of not even villain, antagonist. He was like truly an antagonist, and his build up and his whole to do, why he became who he was after he found the love of his life. Then he loses his love of his life, and then he goes back to where he was. It all made sense as to why Shang-Chi's father was the way he is. That opening scene, that dance, that crouching tiger, hidden dragon memorial. Was lovely. What is up, Jarrell? What is up? I've got to say, it's him as a villain was like, I love it. I mean, if we can get all of our villains to be like this in the MCU, and hopefully most of them stay alive, because we can't just keep doing this. These guys show up.
Razor Fist is still alive.
I'm not even talking about Razor Fist.
I'm like, dude, like first of all, I want to add this, that Razor Fist was probably one of the villains designs I hated in the comics, and they did him justice in the movie. Like, he actually looked more badass in the movie than he did in the comics, because in the comics he just looked like someone who was like a little who was into gimp and like simping and everything like that. Like, he was just, his design was really, really, really bad. And nothing against those people who are into that, but it's it was just really, really
out of the
bad.
Hole, bro. Make your point.
It was really bad. No,
let him keep looking at his ditch.
So I used to make the joke, it's like, how did Razor Fist wipe his ass? Because both of his arms were replaced by 2 fucking machetes. And it's like, the design made no sense. It made no sense. In the movie, his design made sense. Just look at Fry. Please do. In the movie,
it was so fucking gaudy.
And I love the fact that the car that they stole had his name on the side of it.
Yeah.
I will say, this is probably one of my favorite origin story MCU movies. Like, this was like refreshing. Like, I didn't know I was gonna need Shang-Chi the way that I needed Shang-Chi, and it did a fantastic job of not only introducing like the new phase, because I know the shows kind of did that for us, but like this really did it on a level of that mysticism that we kind of get for Doctor Strange and things of that nature. And I think like it's a really, really well done like superhero origin story. And I was so hyped after watching it.
So I just want to ask, I
wanted more Death Dealer. I feel like
why was Death Dealer there?
It felt so
that was such the bummer, because he shows up, like they make him this big, like the opposite of what Shang-Chi was, and like being there for his training and training him. He shows up in like the Jackie Chan rooftops, right?
Ooh.
And then he gets his soul sucked out. What is up, bro? What's good, bro? And then he just gets his soul sucked out, and I was like, what happened? I was just like, it just felt like I knew they were trying to add characters like from the comic, and I think they did what they had to do. But aside from that, to your point, Law, this was one of the better refreshing origin stories that we had. And I think I wouldn't know if it had to do more with the fact that, like, unless you're like a deep cut Marvel fan and you like know Shang-Chi and you know all that stuff, people are kind of going into this without
not even a Boba Fett, yo. Jarrell coming in here throwing hands. God damn.
Well, I want to add so I was on Michael's show last night, and from what people don't know is that Michael, because I just saw in the comments someone mentioned Hawkeye, Michael got to go to Disney D23, and he already got to see the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, and he is excited for the series.
Wow.
Yeah, and he is excited for the series, and he's like, dude, like he thank you. He gave no spoilers, so yeah, we're all like pumped. So next week definitely, because I know it comes out this tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow. We're hoping.
So
we're hoping. I'm putting it out there for Turkey Day. We're gonna be getting 2 episodes.
I'm hoping.
I think
I feel like if they showed them 2 episodes, then we'll get 2 episodes.
Yeah, maybe. So that might be it.
Here's hoping. But can we talk about how fluid like the cinematography, the fight choreography, the music, like everything just slapped in Shang-Chi like so well. The pacing was amazing. Everything just worked. And then you have for Eternals, it felt almost like a different origin. Like you couldn't do like their origin any other way than you did it. And then you have like, you look back on things like Doctor Strange. Like for me, I've always said like Doctor Strange is Iron Man with mysticism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I as much as I like the Doctor Strange movie, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I wasn't blown away by it because it felt rinse and repeat done.
I think
I liked Eternals because it for me did a solid job, and I think I liked Shang-Chi so much more because it like just elevated everything.
This third act, I've got opinions. I have opinions on the third act, and then to Pong's point, super curious. And I think he's talking about Hawkeye. I don't know if we're gonna get Charlie Cox. I mean, everyone was thinking Matt Murdock was gonna show up in the Spider-Man because there's that scene in the trailer where there's a lawyer put some papers on the fucking table, and everyone's looking at the forearm hair and like, that's Charlie Cox. That's Matt Murdock.
I think with Hawkeye. I think with Hawkeye and Spider-Man, we're probably going to see if they're bringing in some of those Netflix characters, because there are rumors too that Wilson Fisk is supposed to appear in Hawkeye.
That I heard is the Wilson Fisk. I don't know about Spider-Man, just because apparently this is the last of their Spider-Man trilogy, and we don't know what's going to happen with Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully, all the other Fox properties, just Sony properties, crash and die and burn in a fire, except for Spider-Verse 2.
I also just think that, like, because we've mentioned it before on the show, that they're not renewing long-term contracts. So, like, yes, this is going to be the last of this run, but that doesn't mean that he's out for good. You know what I mean? So I really doubt that they're going to just be like, all right, you're done, and next. You know what I mean?
Can't wait.
I would love for this version of Kingpin to come back.
Oh, good.
I like Shang.
Yes, it worked, and honestly, I'm glad that it was Simu Liu who got the role. Yes, Mephisto, he is there. I'm telling you. Did you not see this? That, like, look, listen, we're gonna Peppa Sylvia this board that how Mephisto was.
Don't say we. Don't add me.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
I'm not doing
because
it.
Tone wants another bet.
No.
This is why you gotta move.
I felt that shit for WandaVision. We all felt. We were all here. We were all here collectively as nerds of the round. Us and y'all in the chat. We were all in this together, going into the tall grass. And I'm not.
Yo, Rose is trying, yo. Rose is here. Why? What?
Right, let him back.
I'm trying to let him in. He's just taking himself out.
So let me write down.
Yo, whose man is this?
So I'm not doing it. I'm listen. I'm not. You know what? I mean, did we think we were gonna get Pip the Troll at the end of Eternals? No, but no one brought his ass up, and I would have been like, that ain't happening either. But
with Pip the Troll and Arrows, I mean, going back to Sorrentino, I'm really interested to see what would because they tried in his quantum bands, like the rings, and how they there's just more. This is more.
Yeah.
No, I really want to know what because I feel like it does a tie. It says Marvel's next phase has been this whole thing that they're going in. It's going a cosmic route, and so with what we saw with Eternals and what we saw with Shang-Chi with the end, they just opened up Pandora's door right there, and then what we got at the end of Loki. I think this whole year has just been a setup for a lot of new stuff that we are not going to expect.
I think they're looking at cosmic and mysticism as two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of what Doctor Strange did with like Dormammu and going, through the multiverse is very much like akin to like the Eternals and the Celestials and like that kind of like route that they went. And it's kind of what they do a lot of times with like Thor, for instance. Thor isn't so much a god so much as a being or race of people. Asgardians are people that are just more technologically advanced or whatever, what have you.
Well, we also at the end of Falcon, we got a Dark Avengers initiative that started.
Yeah.
We got
I mean, they just planting all these seeds so that when they probably with Phase 6, because we still got more characters to see. We got to see what this new. We have to see where Miss Marvel is going into the Marvel's movie. We got to see where She-Hulk is going to be placed. We got to see where Moon Knight's going to be placed because we know Blade's going to be in the Moon Knight show, and seeing how all of this is going to. Still mad about Sharon Carter, and kind of just see where it all takes place because It's really hard to like pinpoint it because even with Infinity Saga, we all knew. We were going towards Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Like we knew where it was after Avengers 1, we kind of knew. And I'm curious to see what the end game is going to be because they've highlighted that X-Men are eventually coming. Fantastic Four is eventually coming. And we don't know whatever TV shows we're going to see that they're going to preview at potentially San Diego Comic-Con or whatever projects are coming.
Where do you see as far as phases, how many more phases they can put out?
I mean, I don't know if they're going to do it in threes. So the first we got Phase 1, 2, and 3. That's the Infinity Saga. Maybe Phase 4, 5, and 6 is the Kang Saga. If Kang is supposed to be this big to do, I mean, I think what they may do that with Kang because they showed a variant of him in Loki, and we're gonna see him in Ant-Man and Quantum, and that's not gonna be the end of Kang. You're not gonna end Kang in Quantumania. We're getting Loki season 2. He'll probably be there again. So it probably has to do with him, and then
yes, they are. They're awesome paperweights. Christmas is coming up.
So I don't. I don't know. And then you got Secret Invasion coming. Like they have so many things happening.
Yeah.
And they haven't even introduced the X-Men properties into the MCU and the Fantastic Four properties. So it's like, I feel like we're gonna have more shows, more movies, just more stuff down the line. Like I feel that, just to your question with that, Law, I feel like they just added more phases, and they're probably just setting up even more big because think about it. Kevin Feige did this. The Marvel company, they did this with Thanos. They're now doing Kang. They're now doing all the stuff that's been like mostly like non-mutant properties. Now that they have Apocalypse, now that they have Magneto, Doom. Yes, there are Doom. Now that they have Doom, it's like now where do you fit those characters in equations? And then the fact that they're talking about the second Black Panther movie, that we may even get Submariner introduced into this mix and all that. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how many phases Marvel has in them, and then with the amount of storylines that they're pulling from new, old, and everything, they got years of content that's just right for the picking.
Sure, they're gonna just keep. Star Wars is never going away. MCU is never going away.
Speaking of Star Wars,
but before we go to Star Wars, if we want to talk about that third act of Shang-Chi, because that shit made.
Let's do that before we do anything
because
it's a Disney property.
I listen. Like I understand that the Marvel movies need to have like their flashy cinematic super CGI ending of the third act, but I'm like, what the fuck was with this dragon and this demon? I was like, I just wanted more martial arts. That's where I felt a loss with I still think Shang-Chi gets all the raving it gets, but I just did not like how they did that third act with the dragon and the soul sucker. I just wanted like all the martial arts. I got so many, it reminded me of just watching martial art like Jackie Chan movies back in the 90s. Like the scaffolding scene, the scene in the bus, which was very reminiscent of also like of Speed. Like there's so much. And then we go to the dragon fight. And I'm like, what is this? That was my thing. It felt, I don't know if that was like their main decision or if they were like they wanted to do something else and they decided to just put it in. But I just felt the Protector Dragon, I didn't think we needed it. And I thought the Soul Sucker being like this thing behind a dimensional door, I thought would have played a bigger role, and maybe it does. But I thought it was going to play a bigger role in the dimensions, because when they talked about it, it felt like this was going to be something to do with Doctor Strange eventually, because we had Saul Wong, and then it was like kibosh. So I
agree with you. I think what they should have done was that they should have went with something with that final fight scene. It should have been a final fight scene, final martial arts scene. Eliminate the dragons from the equation, but you hint at it and set it up for down the line for Fin Fan Foom, who is a notorious dragon in the MCU. I mean, the movie was great. I love Shang-Chi. The third act, not so much, but I do like what they set up. And again, he's here. But yeah, that third act, just the battle between the two dragons, I'm like, it should have just been hinted. It's kind of like give you that tease, kind of like how we got the tease of Dormammu from Doctor Strange. It's like we saw him, but we didn't really get him. Yeah, I'm gonna mess up the name. Don't worry, that's my trademark. Don't mess it up.
Dormammu.
Dormammu. Yeah.
Seriously?
Jarrell coming throwing hands today. And yes, we're gonna talk about the casting. But yes, I didn't miss it. But Jarrell's throwing hands at Seabass. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Thank you. All right. So before we jump out of MCU, is there any final thoughts? Any predictions for Hawkeye? Anything we want to do for that? Or do we want to jump into the fun stuff like Seabass said with the Star Wars announcements?
Listen, are we going to see Wilson Fisk decapitate a dude with a door? Because then I'm here for it.
I'll give you Mike's hot take, and you guys could go see the show. It's on Mike's channel, Michael Gracia's channel. He just has the feeling that he feels Hawkeye is probably gonna die in his own series. I'm like, that would be interesting, but I'm always like, they've always hinted that Hawkeye was always going to die in like whatever role he's playing, like, because it's like always the shit.
Can he just retire and be with?
Yeah, I want the retirement.
I mean, like, come on, man. Like,
but then again, If we get your Wilson Fisk decapitation, I mean, not Hawkeye.
It's not going to happen to Hawkeye.
I mean, I feel like just give him retirement, but at the same time, I don't trust them to not like off him. So we'll see.
I mean,
there's going to be a reason to. I mean,
it's happened in the comics.
So
he's gone out like a hero.
They're gonna probably retire him. So it's not gonna be like, all right, and I'm done. It's gonna probably be like he got seriously injured to the point where like I can't use my hands or something, and they call it a day.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do this Star Wars. I still have not seen Visions. It's been on my list for forever, and I've been meaning to catch up on it, but
that is on my list too. I'm gonna watch that.
I've caught
that with the boy.
The episodes. I caught the one with the bunny girl that they had in there. The one with the first episode too, with that just looked like it was a samurai western. I mean, anyone who
I'm looking forward to it. How long is it? It's only a couple episodes, no?
I think it's like 8 episodes, but they're like it's a mixed bag, Jarrell. Yes, it is. It's pretty much.
I feel like it
has nothing to do with Star Wars continuity, but they took like these studios took their like if they were to do a Star Wars movie or show, and
like
they
Love, Death, Robots.
Like an anthology, right?
Just like that, Love, Death, and Robots, but with using the Star Wars content, and it was a lot of beautiful stuff that they did too. A lot of beautiful animation and all that.
Okay.
But I liked the one with the bunny girl because it was like, it was like a family story and everything. I liked the first episode because the first episode sets up. I like the one by Studio Trigger because you can definitely see Studio Trigger's animation style and storytelling in there because it's just Studio Trigger is just nuts when they do their stuff. For anyone who's seen
cosplays of lightsabers, katanas, and whatnot, and it's been amazing.
Oh yeah, it's what was it, the first episode, the Sith Lord. Well, I don't want to give too much away from the first episode, but the Sith Lord in that one had like an umbrella that all of a sudden it was at the end of lightsabers.
They showed a little bit of that in the trailer, and that looked pretty dope. Practicality aside, looked pretty dope. We're seeing, because I know we're getting Book of Boba.
The 29th. I just looked it up while you guys were talking about.
Look at you on the ball.
I figured Book of Boba Fett was going to come up, so I did look it up. That is December 29th, so that'll be pretty much probably a week or so after Hawkeye ends, and then we'll get Book of Boba Fett, and I think Kenobi will be coming out next year, which we're all super excited for. I'm curious as to see what Hayden Christensen does with his opportunity to play Anakin Skywalker.
Will he have the high ground this time?
Well, I don't.
I think.
Why was this going to be? Well, what's up? Oh, he's jumping back and forth between our shows. No, I'm just curious as to what Hayden's going to do, right? Because at this point, he's in the suit, so. Are we getting flashbacks? Is he gonna be in like the Bacta tanks and his helmet's gonna be off and it's not gonna be as gray and not seeing the sun, and he's gonna have like those scenes? Because I don't see what the point of having Hayden Christensen in the suit is. Like I don't see the point. And James Earl Jones is gonna do the voice, I would assume, right? So like what's his role going to be in this? That's what I'm curious for.
It might be flashbacks. Maybe like
I don't know. I don't know. It would be flashbacks or so much as like I remember.
Are we gonna get like like how we get Iron Man and we see Robert Downey Jr. inside the suit, like in the HUD when he's talking, and you're gonna put Hayden Christensen's face in there, right? Like I don't know.
I feel like they're gonna do like more so because I know like someone referenced or talked about it somewhere where there's a part after the events of the first trilogy where Darth Vader is basically meditating and doing a whole bunch of stuff in like the desert, and I think it's in like one of the comics or something like that. And during that time, I think him and Kenobi have like a conversation or something like that, or it's something to that effect of like.
Is it in the Darth Vader run? The Darth Vader.
I think so.
I heard is really good. I never got a chance to read them, but I heard they're very good.
So I think they're gonna do something where they essentially acknowledge each other, but it's like, I'll leave you alone if you leave me alone. I feel like I get that vibe. And then we're also, gonna see where he takes young Luke, and with that, And I feel like it's gonna be that weird point of his life where he's basically on the run for the most part. So he has to like, form a new identity, that kind of thing. But then you also have like he's gonna be in grief. He's gonna be in like this weird point of anger and upsetness. Like he's gonna be struggling. And
do we know how many years is it after episode 3? Because it's before Rebels when he comes back and fights Darth Maul, because he's young at this point. So like how many years has he been a hermit on Tatooine? And also I say we should take a bet if we're gonna see Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn. Because I would love to see Liam Neeson.
Oh man,
that would be
one more time, please, Liam. You have a particular set of skills, and this is one of those roles that fits those skills, man.
Yeah.
We lost Qui-Gon Jinn too early
because he was such an against the grain Jedi. Yeah. It was great. Like you only got he's one of the highlights of that first movie.
Yeah.
And it's like everything and how it all makes sense because like his lineage too, right? Because he was Darth Sidious apprentice, not Darth Sidious, Count Dooku's apprentice, and then Count Dooku was the apprentice of Yoda. So it's just really cool, like that tree. It's really cool, man. I hope we see them. But that's been the thing I was talking to my wife about, what's Hayden gonna do in this, and we haven't seen him in anything since whatever
Takers.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to shit on the guy's career. I think it's just a series of bad movies.
Just like I'm not. No, what I'm saying is just like
I think he's a great actor. I think
he just had a
rough spot after and I think that happens a lot with like big name actors in certain franchises, where if like the franchise, whether the franchise does well or it tanks completely, there's still this weird like time period of like 10 to 15 years where they're either really super like they're riding that train and like riding that high, or people don't know what to do with them, so they're looking for that like basically what like not Hayden, what's this kid's name, Robert Pattinson did. Like, I don't want to be Edward, so I'm gonna be Thanksgiving all Joe. Of these Happy Thanksgiving Joe.
Even Daniel Radcliffe did that. Daniel Radcliffe decided to do like such obscure pieces and stuff.
But I think that helped. That Daniel Radcliffe, I think, he's picked his roles. That has helped because even their obscure roles, they're pretty good roles. Whereas
Guns Akimbo, if you guys have not watched Guns Akimbo, please grab a beer and watch Guns Akimbo. That shit was amazing. And that movie has no business being as good as it was. It absolutely has no business being as good as it was. You have like it's definitely one of those go in there with no expectations, but you're gonna be blown out the water either way.
I'm laughing because they pretty much did a remake of Weekend at Bernie's. What was it? He was like the Swiss Army.
Oh, Swiss Army.
Well, that's not a remake.
It's not a remake. It just used.
It's just like they use like it's so off from what Weekend at Bernie's is. Because, anyway, but I know you guys wanted to talk about the Sabine casting, right?
Mm. Well, I don't have like a lot of like
Rebels.
Like I don't have a lot of stake in that, so like I'm like excited for a lot of the stuff because I know that's gonna play into
we're all here for I'm here for Thrawn.
We're here for the eventual like Ahsoka show and all this other stuff. So
I'm here for Thrawn and to see who they cast as Thrawn and how he plays into it, because I didn't finish Rebels, but like the expanded universe with Star Wars since we're taking the biggest break ever from the bad news.
Well, the bad news with the Star Wars universe as well as the Patty Jenkins project is pretty much indefinitely shelved.
The TIE Fighter one? I mean the Squadron one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think there's creator differences, but we'll
see what happens.
Let's see what direction they go in with that, because I Rogue One, I remember the games and all, and it wasn't too much of a story, but it was always awesome. And I'm not sure what creative differences they would have had in terms of focus.
I mean, you got to make assume you make any sort of Rogue One sort of movie has to be akin to like a Top Gun.
Yeah.
You know, like the fights in space make up most of the action sequences, but the heart of the movie is the pilots and the plot.
Right.
Because then, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if that probably would be a creative difference, because I don't see Patty Jenkins, like, she'll have good action pieces, but probably the majority of it would be like, her thing would be like, we need to have like really good dialogue for us to care about these characters, and then we get like the pieces that are worth it for the battles, which are then, you know, because you also don't want to like go overzealous with them, because then you're desensitized to it. Yeah. Like in, you know, Mandalorian, when we saw fucking lightsabers in like one episode, and we lost our shit because we haven't had it in so long.
Yeah.
Right. With Ahsoka. So I guess we'll see. I mean, also Edgar Wright left Ant-Man, and we have a great Ant-Man franchise and great Ant-Man character. Yeah. So, but again, MCU is not Star Wars as we know when it comes to the movies. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. I'm just, you know, want to see Wedge again. Wedge.
I don't know, man. I need Old Republic stuff. I'm tired of this. I love the New Republic and what we're doing, but I need Old Republic. I desperately need a Darth Bane series. I don't listen. If y'all haven't read it, read those 3 books. The Darth Bane books are some of the best Star Wars books I've read. That and the Darth Plagueis book. That's also a good book too. But I'm a huge stan for Darth Bane.
I'll have to check it out at some point. I know like there's a lot of Old Republic that's not technically canon now kind of stuff that gets tossed around.
They re-released the books, they republished them with new covers. So it's like Essential Legends is what they did. Mm-hmm. So the Darth Bane trilogy is a part of it. The series with Mara and like Luke's kids and all that other stuff is a part of that, because that's a huge to do. The original Thrawn trilogy, the original Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy is part of it, because Timothy Zahn came back and did another Thrawn trilogy, because they were like, he's the one who created him, and they were like, we got to bring him back to write this character. Yeah. There's a Revan book, there's a Darth Revan book, but I do think we are getting Darth Revan eventually, and then I don't know if the Darth Plagueis book is a part of that re-release, but it's a pretty solid like 400 or 500 page book. And you learn about Darth Plagueis, but you also learn about Palpatine as he was discovered up until he kills him. And you see him weaving his plan throughout that book, which is very cool.
I want to add, Tone, Law, that we all might want to be, you know, saving for that Disney loan to go out there to Disney when they launch some of their Star Wars stuff. Because Mike was saying like some of the stuff that they showed, there's some immersive stuff. There's some
lightsaber.
I just want to build. The retractable.
Bro, that's shit.
They're gonna do an exhibit that's very immersive, where you can be one of the players. And if you don't want to be one of the players, you're just one of the people just watch it.
Aren't they doing on the cruise? Because they're doing it's like a 3-day.
They're doing a whole lot of stuff. He said
like a 3-day $10,000 experience. It's kind of nuts.
But no, this is, you know how they're building all that stuff for the Star Wars portion of the land and all that. But yeah, it's he was like, I need an arm and a leg, and that Disney loan and sell the kidney in order to enjoy this immersive experience. So it's like, really, you're one of the cast members there, and it's like he was saying he got to go on the new thing they did with the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
And you actually can sit in the cockpit, and the buttons you're pressing is actually affecting everything that's going on in the Millennium Falcon. I was like, dude, that's so fucking dope.
The spaceport thing, did some pretty crazy screen tech. I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised, because
I just want to go to Lightsaber Forge and make my own lightsaber. I'm here for that.
What color lightsaber do you guys want?
I mean, like, you got the typicals, blue, the greens, and the reds, but I'm
going yellow.
I like orange.
I've done my Star Wars test, and I've come up yellow a few times. And I've done the what kind of Jedi or what kind of whatever you are, and I'm a gray Jedi, and I was like, bet, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they always talk about like the feeling for it too. Like, I know in the games, like blue is Guardian, green's Counselor, yellow Sentinel, all that other stuff. Red is Sith. I like purple, like the oranges. Sometimes you get some obscure colors in the games, but yeah, those are pretty much
Seabass.
Oh man, I never thought of what color my saber would be. Black, like my coffee.
You never took the like.
I've never took the test.
Whoa. You don't drink your coffee black. All right.
I do.
No,
I do at times. I do when I'm out of cream. When I am out of cream.
You are a light and sweet person. And listen, I ain't coffee shaming you. It don't matter. I'm just saying you own it. Light and sweet.
I do. I would take it light and sweet.
That lightsaber is crazy. Where I understand you're into Star Wars, it's like a religious experience. Oh shit!
Imagine.
Yep.
I listen. Like you because like like there's so many other places you can go to Saberforge, and there's so many third-party places to build your lightsaber, and like you see it. Like there's so many lightsaber craftsmen on YouTube and all that. But to do like
on TikTok, everywhere.
But if you go to like a Disney branded experience and like they give you that whole environment. I could only imagine. I mean, people who do the wand picking thing in Universal, they think that's an awesome experience too. So I can only imagine doing something that you've grown up with.
It is.
I would lose my. I will spend. I don't care how much it is. Probably like $200-$300. I'll do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be like, honey, I'm saving money. This is the lightsabers for me and Bear, and we're gonna go and we're gonna do this and. That's what we're gonna do. And if Josie wants one, she can have one too. Like it don't matter. Like we can all do it. I don't care. But I'm getting my damn lightsaber.
I feel like Josie would be the one to get like lightsaber nunchucks. I'd be like, this is how I'm gonna do it.
She'll get herself a purple lightsaber and whack the shit out of her brothers, which will do.
That's also fair and also very true.
Bear would be like, I want blue because it's good guy. Otherwise, because he loves red and blue. So.
All right, are we gonna get to the elephant in the room?
Y'all could talk about Bebop.
Go ahead,
I'll be
do
here.
it. I'm waiting for you to start, bro.
You're waiting for me to start? All right.
Listen, you are definitely
okay. I got a question. So like obviously I didn't see the show. So but we know that Bebop is a 20-something episode show. Do you think that how the Netflix show portrayed and how they actually cared about like the casting and what they were trying to do, and it wasn't like some of the other things we did, that we can see other short run animes turned in this way? So like, do you think Outlaw Star would work?
Do you want to take this off or should I?
I don't have enough invested interest in Outlaw Star, but okay, I feel like again.
I'll go because you just said that.
I love Outlaw Star, so
I originally when I was because we had a conversation about it in the Spitballers group, and that's why I go. I want to give the mic to Law after this, but I go if they're doing it with the same amount of love. I bumped my rating from 7. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think they could do a Outlaw Star with the right budget and the right team because I did feel that the showrunners for Cowboy Bebop did care about the source material and they tried in their way to make it their own but also try to appease fans. And I think with trying to make sure it appeases fans and everything, they did fall into that line of where you still got some cheesiness in there. But I felt that also gave it its charm, and I think they could do well with Bebop. I mean, with Outlaw Star, but they did it way better than the Death Note anime adaptation. It was way better.
But I felt that Death Note adaptation wasn't. It just felt like they were trying to do it and not.
Yeah, no, you could.
This like Cowboy when Cowboy Bebop got announced that they were going to do this, we knew they were going to do. They were doing the castings right, and we all were good with the castings.
They were doing their due diligence.
They were doing their due diligence, and I think at some point when it comes to these anime adaptations into live actions that these bigger studios will do, and they're going to do them when they do them right, not the shitty ones. I would feel better, if you keep it aligned to like what the main story plots are, but you also find your way to get there. Right. Like you don't need to do like, you don't feel like you've got the story and you have the anime and you got the script as like your guideline, be like, this is what we need to hit, but we hit it our own way, whether that's changing some things or getting there a different way. So like if they did an Outlaw Star, like it doesn't need to be beat for beat of every single episode or make like you have like the little Easter eggs like we always do, but make it your own. Like make it your own. Here's the storyline but make it your own. So that it doesn't feel like we have to copy the anime, because I felt with Bebop, with the marketing for it, we got that first cut of Tank, the intro, which everyone loved, and then I just felt like they kept milking Tank for everything that they did to market this show. and it took away from the charm that was one of the most popular anime openings in like Toonami.
Yeah,
like everyone loved Tank, and then it was like, cool, we haven't heard it since Toonami, and then it's like, everyone, do you want to hear Tank? We heard you like Tank, so you want Tank with the side of Tank. Like you see Exhibit there telling you how much he loves Tank. I think
like you skip intro after a while.
Yeah, exactly. And it just so I would love for them, I hope with the success, with what the fans are taking, we do get other adaptations for the short runs.
I don't know if it has enough success. Like it did good where it was supposed to do good, but it fell short in like what you were saying. You have the outline, you have the foundation, and you have the bare bones to do and like build upon. But where they expanded on, I feel like didn't really do anything. It felt like they just did it to do it, and it didn't feel like it added anything to the original. So it's like you're expanding on stuff that didn't need expansion, or you are giving us stuff that like wasn't needed. You know what I mean? And I think with a lot of these adaptations going forward, it's gonna be that fine line, because I think, and I think I said it before, they were faithful until they weren't. Like they did a really good job at being careful and being true to form of what Cowboy Bebop is. I don't think that they understood how to go from the show and like go to a macro like lens and look at it like, okay, how do we get from this episode to this episode to this episode that aren't really connected, but they are because you have the main cast, to now creating an overarching world and story and plot points and all these things. And then also, like we were saying before with Vicious, like Vicious doesn't feel like Vicious. Like, you're trying to capture the charm of a show that it's hard to do.
I mean, it goes on to both because you're both right on that. I feel for me as watching the show and just taking a sit back, I'm not taking it that they're adding to Cowboy Bebop. They're telling their own story involving the characters and taking parts of the original story, because it's like, let's be honest, Cowboy Bebop, the anime, sits on there as a 10 out of 10 because it's a really good show. For what they did, I feel that it wasn't a train wreck compared to others that we've seen. Is it great?
Right.
No. Is it bad? No. I mean, it's still enjoyable. And I know with Vicious, and that was the point. And I think it was in one of the conversations, like, you don't get much of Vicious in the series because it's about the crew of Bebop and everything. It's about the story for Jet, the story for Spike, the story for Faye. But I feel in this is what they were trying to do is to try to draw into new people too, and all that, is that they're kind of expanding in their own live action. And I feel the way it's said, because like with the anime, the anime has a beginning and an end. This doesn't have too much of an end, because they're thinking, okay, if we get signed for season 2, we have stuff plotted for season 2.
But do you think that they're anticipating, because that's the other thing too, you can do this show as like a multiple season thing, but you can't look at the show as like it's gonna run on forever. And I think it felt like they try to stretch too much of it too far, because if you get, let's say you get 3 seasons to cover the 24 episodes, that's 12 episodes each, or wherever the math, 8 episodes each. Like if we get that, that's a solid chunk. But I feel like they're trying to get more than, like, they're trying to squeeze like water out of a rock. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing left.
Yeah, no,
I didn't think that because I was concerned. Yeah, I mean, it's
you're not gonna hate it, but it's like, it don't go into our expectations that it's going to be that 10 out of 10 like the original series, because the original series is always going to be tough to top. I mean, again, if I had to compare it, when you look at original adaptations like Dragon Ball Evolution, Death Note. It was a good adaptation of the series. I appreciated the cast because the cast. I mean, I'm still 3 episodes that I have to finish. I finished off with the Faye Valentine episode when she got her, which I'm like, it was pretty interesting. In that moment, the actress, I think she did a pretty good job for her portrayal of Faye. And there's just some there.
I don't think that any of the actors did a bad job. I think I think kind of
it was better. It was better.
And that wasn't Avatar.
That wasn't. We don't talk about that.
There was no live action movie.
We're talking about good. We're talking about good adaptations. Good adaptations or adaptations.
But yeah, adaptations. I think Jet was fantastic. I love Jet's character. I loved
Basuda.
I love the I forget their names. The owner of the bar and their like second in command.
Yeah, I like them too.
I loved them. I loved their dynamic. Great. They were great. A couple of villains were pretty cool. I think there was parts of it that I was super excited for, and they looked visually dope, and like they read well on screen. But someone said there was it's hard for John Cho, as much as we love John Cho, for him to exude Spike, because Spike has such a he cares without caring, if that makes sense.
Wrong Avatar. Tell me any of the Na'vi names, Pong.
Yeah, I mean, like Spike feels like your guy who doesn't care because he's just eating noodles and he's just dicking around for most of the part. But in the background, that he cares and he wants to do the right thing and he's trying to do what he's supposed to do. So did John capture that? Yes, but there was a little less charm to him, I guess, which is hard to capture.
No, it is, and Spike Spiegel is a well-written character. The voice actor did an amazing job, and everything. And I go, it was a great challenge for John Cho.
I love the type of woman that would actually just kill me. I was so mad they didn't do that. Spoiler warning.
Again, they're probably saving something because the showrunners already said he has ideas for a season 2.
If they get a season 2.
See, I
think that's what he did.
Crazy, man, because again, Squid Game, you get we're gonna save stuff for season 2, but then your ending ends up being trash.
Well, I mean, I think for Bebop though, I think the Netflix gave them the chance to do it, so it's kind of like what they did with The Witcher. They did The Witcher, and we're we don't know how this is gonna go. We don't know if it's gonna be the Game of Thrones that we want it to be, right? It can go Game of Thrones season 1 or Game of Thrones season 8, right? We don't know how it's gonna go, and it ended up being a huge success to the point where they did the animation. They have season 2s coming out on the 17th. They plan on, if Netflix allows it, they plan on doing 7 seasons of The Witcher. And I think
amazing,
which would be amazing, right? But it really depends on what does Netflix consider success? Because I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, because we had that other show that was booted off. The show with the Hispanic family show. I didn't watch it, but I heard it got canceled. It got canceled after.
Gendified?
No. I think I know which one it was.
With the family and I don't.
Yeah, it had 2 seasons, right?
I believe Rita Moreno was in it. She was the grandmother. That got canceled, even though it was a huge hit. It had such a huge following. So I don't know. Altered Carbon got cut. I don't know if that had a big fall, but I love season 1.
I think season 2 was a lackluster season for them. I don't know.
But I don't know what they consider success. So if Bebop was a success, then we'll potentially get a season 2. I don't think Bebop needs at most 3 seasons.
Yeah, I see it as 3 seasons because it's
it's to tell the whole story. But they're not. They're not going to give them 16 episodes to do the whole series.
No, And I can kind of see them giving Bebop a second season because I could see people going back and finding things that they liked about the series. Because, like again, sitting there and just looking at it, I started liking it more. Because, like I said, I originally gave it a 7 out of 10. I bumped it up to the 8 out of 10 because I'm finding things I like about it.
It's not terrible. Like like Sebastian, you said, like it's one of those things that doesn't like. If it was deliberate in being bad, like if it was, like we're not gonna pay attention, like if it was any other adaptation that like kind of looked at the cliff notes and then try to make something out of their ass, then we'd be bashing it. But it's hard to bash it because you can tell where they gave the genuine effort. You're pulling in not only the original composer for it, you're getting like the blessing of a lot of people, you're getting like you're doing so much due diligence. I think again where they drop the ball is trying to figure out how to marry new broader, like expansive stories or like arcs to these characters versus the timetable they were allowed.
Also, too, I like that when you look at the tech they use, like we see so many sci-fi shows, dramas, and movies where we see this tech that's like beyond this world and everything. That's like they still stuck true to a lot of the tech that was depicted in the anime, which is like that shit looks like something that's less advanced than what we're using now, like their cell phones, or how like clunky it was and everything. Again, they were pulling a lot of stuff from the anime, like they had the old school cars that they were driving there around in the areas and all that, and it says you weren't.
I appreciated that.
Yeah, and that was something that was pretty dope. And when they did introduce some tech that was there, it was like, dude, you don't want to use that. That's gonna fuck up something. Or it's that's a scam.
It didn't feel like because a lot of Bebop's charm is that it's not a very polished, like future, like space anime.
Yeah.
Like it's not polished at all. It feels grimy and dirty, and it feels like there is like it feels just raw. Like it feels like there's substance.
It does.
It does. You know what I mean?
It's not it's not a utopia like we see with most space operas at this point. There's some sort of utopia, or it's like a utopia with like a cyberpunkish sort of feel, right? Like you've got the top elite in the utopia, and then you've got the cyberpunk people on the bottom. So like kind of how Ultra Carbon was. Like essentially pretty much most science fiction futuristic when you have a utopia and a cyberpunk feel. But this is like feels like space travel is a thing, but we are just colonizing, and the world are getting by, and we're just kind of lackluster technology, and people are just getting by.
Yeah.
It's like you felt the dirt in that first episode when you get introduced to the setup for New Tijuana. You feel the dirt, you feel the grime. I felt like they really captured what New Tijuana was in that first episode.
Also, the style of clothing and everything, like all of that feel. It just feels like, like Spike is wearing this suit jacket that feels worn in, right? Like it's not any sort of futuristic fashion. It's just regular fashion in the world, So I don't know. I do.
And I just want to add to one of the things they capture is, like, I remember in the original Bebop series, is that how outlandish some of the bounties were. They captured that too.
100%.
They captured that too.
That was great. Like even like the not only the bounties, but like the
TV show,
the TV show, like the bounty board TV show,
yeah,
was so well done. Which is why, like, I am struggling to like bash this thing. It's like my big thing is some of like the Ballad of the Fallen Angels. Spoiler alert, they did not use it, and I was so sad because it's such iconic music to that fight scene, and you're just like, why? Like, give me that, give me a little bit of that, and maybe we'll get it later if they try to do that fight again, but it's not going to have the same impact that it would have if you would have just saved that for next time as opposed to trying to fit it for now. And then also you're getting a little bit of the what was it? The like character choices, like we spoiler alert again. We get where are they? We get Ed. We get them right at the end, literally for 2 seconds, and we're just like, yay! You know what I mean? Like, why give us that
season 2?
You know, for season 2, obviously, but like, it feels cheap. It feels kind of cheap.
I mean, it's if you really think about it, in the anime, we didn't get Ed until like maybe like the mid-season of it, but the way we got Ed
skipped so much. Like, if they're going beat for beat, you're going what? The 24 episodes, they covered a lot of that in the series, but then they're omitting stuff for the second season. It's like, are you going to pull the old source material and try to make it new? Like, what are you doing at that point? Which is a lot of like the issues, I think.
Yeah, it's like I said, I want to see them get a season 2. I liked a lot of the stuff they did. They're, again, like I said, I have my complaints. Like, you could what is it? You could see the cheesiness when that first episode, when the action scene Spike starts sliding across that in that junkyard. Mm-hmm. You could tell. I was like, dude, that just looks so cheesy right there. But again, I give them all credit. I give it an 8 out of 10. Because I'm just finding, and like I said, I'm only 3 more episodes left. The last episode I watched was the one with Faye again getting her memories back. I was like, that was such a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Look, we've had worse, worse. Anime, live action.
This is definitely one of the better ones. I think there's still room for improvement, and I hope that they.
Absolutely. But like, it's good to see that there's a way to do it. I think doing a shonen is impossible. Yeah, there's too many episodes.
It's impossible.
Let's stop doing it.
And like doing a lot of the like bigger fight scene choreography and like power scaling stuff doesn't really translate really well.
You need like grounded shows.
Yeah,
where it works. You know, like even like
Death
Note could work as a show.
Why did you take yourself out?
By mistake.
It was like Death Note and the way Death Note's played out and everything. Like Death Note works as a show. Like if you think about it, Death Note works as a show, and also in like in today's day and age where you've got people who are all about eat the rich and everything. Like having Death Note and doing what Death Note did,
that would have worked
could work really well, even if you did like a modern twist to it. Like because of what it was talking about.
Like,
so I think
if you guys ever seen the live action Bleach, the live action Bleach was
it was really good.
Really good.
It was.
What's the problem? Bleach is so long. You're gonna get like 2 hours of a movie, sure, but that only took place with the first maybe 3 episodes.
Yeah,
maybe. So it's like, come on, like you got to pick your battles. I think a 24 episode kind of like smaller chunk show would work so perfectly, like a Bebop, like we have it now. But learning from that, like where do we expand and where do we cut off? Because you can't try to milk if there's nothing left. Like if you try to milk too far, you're just gonna end up with like pus at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to that point, it's like not everything needs a movie. Like you could make like, for example, Serenity. When they try to fit everything in Firefly into that one movie, it was like, oh, Serenity is good, but then you go back and watch Firefly, you're like, no, it's not good. They rushed too much.
But Serenity was a Hail Mary to continue on. That was why they did it. I would say, like you got Serenity because you only got Serenity because you couldn't get anything else from Firefly.
Right.
So they gave you what they could give you. So here it's like, you're going to get a season 1, season 2, maybe a season 2, maybe a season 3. But, to Lost Point, to like what we're realizing is like, you can't do a shonen. You've got to do animes, maybe max 30 something episodes, because we don't know if you're going to get renewed. So like you need to figure out when your seasons are going to end. Because a lot of these animes, they don't, the 24 episode runs, 30 episode runs, they run and that's it. Like there is no real big cliffhanger to hold you off for an entire year.
The only
you need to make your own cliffhanger in the middle.
It'd be really weird seeing a yellow tentacle monster, but essentially if they did Assassination Classroom, that would be fucking super dope and super grounded, because a lot of that, aside from
they did do a live action one, didn't they?
I think in Japan, but I don't know if they did like a full on like if they if they gave it the treatment of Cowboy Bebop. I think that's a like 2-season short run. Most of it is like kids learning like assassination techniques and whatnot. Like it's not going to be a stretch. It'd be a stretch to do like a live action Gundam. It'd be a stretch to do
which we are getting
a live action Digimon movie. Like
but the thing with Gundam though, at least Gundam is broken up.
Yeah, you have a lot of source
material. Gundam is broken up, so it's not like one continuous story. Gundam is just broken up into, Gundam Seed,
also
Gundam Wing. So like you just take whatever elements you want. I mean, and you make
your own story.
Also, you can just make your exactly. Gundam is a thing where I think you can just make your own story. Like you use the Gundams and maybe you have the sandbox and you pull from everything and you get a creative team that can really do that because people watch Gundam, you watch it for the mechs and the amazing animation, but there's also the political intrigue and all the other stuff, which is what hooks people, right? Mm-hmm. So that's you build your own tension influenced by certain things, and then you have fans of Gundam who are like, if you do it right, these are the Easter eggs.
Also,
I don't need to see a rehash of Gundam Wing. I just want to see a live action adaptation of Gundam, and how are they going to do it?
Also, to add to what you were saying so earlier, Outlaw Star, I would like to see the showrunners who do Killjoys to actually be the ones to do Outlaw Star, because Outlaw Star, you can get a beginning and ending series because it had a beginning and an end, like Cowboy Bebop, and it's a great show. And I would love to see them bring grappling ships onto the TV screen.
Oh my god, the grappling ship battles would be
amazing,
so good. And then seeing the caster and how they would do the caster gun. Oh man, no, I would really. I mean, but I think Outlaws is a good point too, because the action sequences are just the ships, and then you've got the regular action sequences with Jean and everybody there that you can keep grounded in your locations, because even then the worlds are sort of realized, but they're not super high tech. You've just got the different planets and the races and all that stuff. So I think
what is like the most grounded anime for the most part that I think we could do? Like I think a show. I don't know if a show would do.
I would say
a multiple part movie. We can probably get away with, especially with the technology. Ronin Warriors.
Yeah, you can. And Ronin Warriors has been. I think Ronin Warriors is. I think Netflix produced their last anime, or had access to their last anime. I was thinking Naruto. I was thinking Naruto. You can pull from that pipeline because Naruto has. That's if you're committing to doing multiple.
No, but seasons. You're not. You're not. They're not. You're not going to commit to doing you've got to. So
even if you take out the filler, it's still a lot.
It's too much. It's a shonen. I will. Any shonen is removed from this. It just doesn't make any practical sense to build a live action show for a shonen. There's just because the arcs, the legit arcs, are very much important, and they build on top of each other, because of the power scaling. You don't why is Naruto's eyes orange? Well, if you watched 2 arcs ago and you watched that he was in a fucking frog valley and he was sitting on pointy rocks, you would understand why he's one with nature and his balance of chakra nature and now he has they all build on each other. So this doesn't make sense. I think you can even do some of the Studio Ghibli stuff too. I would love to see a live action Princess Mononoke. Because Princess Mononoke gets really wild at the end when they kill the deer and the forest spirit comes out. Yes. And that's when that's probably when your heavy CGI would come into play. But all the other stuff in Princess Mononoke, I think you could make a fantastic live action. I think you can do it with the wolves, and I think you could. Maybe they did in Japan. I'm not sure, but I think Guillermo del Toro would do an amazing live action Princess Mononoke.
He has that visionary, and then the studios he works with to do a lot of his CGI and monster work. I would love to see, and I'm always going to be on my high horse for this one, is Armitage III as a live action, because you have a sci-fi cyberpunk world where it takes place on Mars, and it's generally a cop story, pretty much, and it deals with cyborgs and all that. And we've seen stuff like that already with Altered Carbon. I think it's a series with a female protagonist that I think would do pretty well. if they were to adapt it as a live series.
I mean, we got, we had Battle Angel Alita. I mean,
yeah,
we were,
and that did really
you
well.
and we were, you and me were pretty good with that, and how they did.
That took them years to make because he was shopping around that script for a while and he wanted to make that movie. So it's like now it's like how long is it gonna take to get part 2
on a cliffhanger?
The series is still going, and I'm like,
no, but the movie.
Oh yeah, no, the movie ended with
ended a cliffhanger, but like the series is still going, but it's like different books at this point. Like the first run of that book ended, and then you got the second one, and she goes back to Mars and all that other stuff. But like I think they can continue on with at least Battle Angel Alita, like with some of those points, because it was a pretty solid sci-fi
They gave
movie.
us Edward Norton at the end as the lead doctor who's the villain in the series, and I was like, how do you do that to us? You did us dirty.
Yeah. Before you left, I had mentioned Sebastian mentioned Armitage III, and I had mentioned Princess Mononoke.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like Guillermo del Toro could do Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Armitage III is not a bad choice either. I'm not like super familiar with it, but I know enough of it that I'm like, that's not a bad pick.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just depends on like what the power scaling where it's not cheesy on screen.
You can always revisit Guyver too.
I was thinking Guyver. Guyver could be fun. Guyver is also another one. You could just do your own take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the thing with Guyver, like Guyver, you also want someone who's creative. Like I think I'm saying his name multiple times, but Guillermo is really good with monster design.
Yeah.
And like those monsters in Guyver make half of that show. You can't have shitty monsters in Guyver.
No, you can't.
Like if you have shitty monsters, then there's no. Why are we watching this? But yeah, I think any of like the really like really nothing super crazy with the space tech, or you go the ninja route like we've seen like the old classics. If you want to go
Black Lagoon is another good one,
or like Fist of the North Star, because I think that would be fun.
They did do an American version live action of Fist of the North Star, and it was very bad. It was like in the 80s. It's the 80s, man.
I could imagine, but like Fist of the North Star now with today's CGI graphics, when he makes someone blow up, that shit would be awesome.
There's a lot of potential. I feel like we're in a benefit because a lot of what could have been possible, at least with like a live action show, like we've seen in like The Mandalorian. Like you can do a lot of futuristic sci-fi space, things and laser fights and all this other, like all the things that we want to see in a show, but you got to give the attention to detail. Like if you're gonna do it right or don't do it at all. And I think that's going to be the tricky part, because a lot of it is we want the flash and panache and this and that third, but then the story is just garbage.
But also too, with how Dune dropped this year, and just the storytelling with that.
Dune is a completely, like, it's almost like you have no excuse now. Like Dune was like,
Dune's getting 2 movies, right? Like Dune is
two more movies, or
no. It's 2 movies. So Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2. So Dune Part 1, first book. There's 3 like books, like how they put in chapters. There's 3 books in the first Dune book, right? It's like the first book and a half, and then you've got the second book and a half is what we're going to get in Dune 2 in 2022, in 2023. And then, but there's 6 like actual releases of books. People are hoping for there's Children of Dune, and which they did a live action based off sci-fi, because sci-fi has like a bunch of live actions of Dune. There's Children of Dune, and there's Dune Messiah. That's book 2, which is like 200-300 pages, and then Children of Dune, which is book 3, and that I think ends Paul's story. And then I think God King Doom starts, kind of moves on forward with his son and all the other stuff. I'm not sure, but they could. It's also interesting that they allowed the first book to be 2 movies. Like it has to be. Dune has to be 2 movies, right?
It's heavy.
It's so dense and so heavy because the movie from the 80s, the 70s. I didn't watch it. Right? It's like 3 hours. That first book is like 3. That first one was like 3 fucking hours. Yeah.
Dude goes to the beach.
And it's super lore heavy. From what I understand, like they give you a whole lore dump at the beginning of that movie.
Yeah.
and which this Dune isn't doing that because we're seeing everything through the eyes of Paul, and we're kind of experiencing it with him. So but you're right. There is no excuse. If you want to do something correct and adapt it correctly, then you could, you take the time. I may be by myself, but I think when it comes to anime adaptation, they've already did one in Japan. I think Attack on Titan, if done right, could work.
Yeah.
Because of the internal storyline of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Like that's like you got to cut a lot of it.
Creepy as hell.
You got to cut a lot of it. But you got to cut a lot of it, but it's the fact of like the fake government. I'm just ignoring it. The fake, you've got the fake government, you've got everything happening in Marley, and you have all those other things with the Titans. I think it could work if the CGI is done right, the acting is done right, and the story is done right. And like how to weave through it because there's so much happening in between the lines.
I think with Attack on Titan, you would have to do, if it's going to be a live action, you would have to do a mixture of practical and CGI effects. Yeah. And I think because it's like
the Titans themselves will probably be mocap. Like a lot of
and mocap. You can't go crazy. You can't overdo it.
No.
Can't overdo it with the Titans. Because there's sometimes the Titans always have like really funny faces, or the abnormal Titans will run like nuts and stuff. And I think the Titans are like the boogeymen in the show, kind of like Jaws. Like when they show up, it's scary. It happens. Right. Shit goes down. We get the action sequences with. I think
the initial doing the opening of the movie. If they did like a movie. Doing the initial opening that we all get in the first episode where we're all like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like just to get that like sense of like how serious it is, and then just don't show them again for like until like the end.
Until Aaron gets eaten. That's pretty much it.
Well, that's what they did. Like you remember in Walking Dead and other great horror movies, like you don't show the creatures. You don't show that you just build that sense of dread with the actual cast, because then when the creature is there, that's when it's like, oh fuck moment. And it's like, it was like that, like with The Walking Dead, it's like, in the beginning, they threw like, zombies, that they were there, but it's like, again, then there was just that period where there was none. And then when they came, it's like, okay, we still got these fuckers to deal with. This is a scary situation. It's just not a post-apocalyptic world we're dealing with. We're dealing with a fucking creatures that want to eat us. The Thing is a great horror, and I keep going back to it because it is a great suspense horror, because most of the horror is the suspense in the cast of you're the fucking creature. And when the creature does show up, it's like, holy shit. That's why it didn't do well. The prequel didn't do so well versus the first one, because the first one is like, and like the director says, like if they remade the first one, it's like painting the Mona Lisa, and that's literally what they should do, is just learn and how they did the storytelling with the Thing. And I feel like that would just make a live action Attack on Titan just fucking flawless in terms of scaring people.
At least until more of the writer Titans.
It's like the evolution of what's going on, Polar Knights?
What is up? What's up? It definitely is. But yeah, no, I think it depends, right? Because to your point, like the first season of Attack on Titan is like the scariness of the random Titans, and then you've got female Titan and you have Eren. That's it, and like it only shows up when it needs to show up, and just kind of like Game of Thrones, where like the magic cascades into the seasons, then you'll see more of the shifters showing up because you need them to show up, you need them to move the plot along, but you're already in it at that point. Like you overdo it with once you're in it, you'd be like, oh shit, what's going on? And then you get the twist of like who the Titans are, and they're really Eldians and they're Marlians. Like you get all that twist. It could work if you do it correctly. Otherwise, it's cheesy and gets canceled immediately.
Yep.
Like it's really crazy with Attack on Titan how fine that line is.
Yeah.
To make it for it to work, because even even when I was reading it before we got seasons 2 and 3, when you get the big twists with where everything comes from, it's like, oh, I need to keep going, because it's no longer about the monsters outside the walls. It gets past that.
Yeah.
And like, and I think that's kind of what made it such a big to do. So it's kind of it'll be interesting. I doubt they will, but if if we're talking about crazy
And
anime
we're,
to be
we're
something,
throwing out our wish list.
we're throwing out our wish list. You know, I mean, like, you know, I've got my other anime in the back pocket, but you know, I can't even get a solid anime adaptation for that. So I don't want to see some jackass dressed up in black armor. You know, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Henry Cavill dressed up as Guts. I mean, come on.
Who would you cast as Guts?
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like
there's no one that's going to fit that role.
I'm not doing that exercise.
We're not doing Momoa.
I'm not doing that exercise.
It's going to be Dwayne Johnson. Watch.
Absolutely not. I love Dwayne Johnson. I love The Rock. I don't need him in there. I can't cast anybody in. I can't. I literally cannot cast for. I'm sure Michelle's laughing. I don't know if Michelle's laughing at us or she's laughing at Evolution of Beards. I'm not sure, but it's all funny. It's all funny. But I can't sit here and tell you, oh, who I think. Yeah, exactly. There is no one. There's no one. Let's finish it. Let's fit. Well,
I'm not going to say it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not going to say it. I was.
No, please.
I was going to pick on Pong, but you know, I'm not going to say it.
You say Chris Pratt.
I didn't.
If you fucking say
we're just gonna remove him. That's why we.
I didn't say it. I said I wasn't gonna say it.
Jesus Christ!
I mean, he's playing everybody in Hollywood right now.
Got Chris Pratt as Guts and Jared Leto as fucking Griffith.
No, it's gonna be Scarlett Johansson. Watch, it's gonna be Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my!
I promise you.
Oh man, that would be.
I can't even get a solid adaptation for it, man. I don't want to talk about it. It hurts my soul too much. It hurts.
I mean, it hurt my soul when they made that horrible 3D animation that was supposed to continue the story. I was like, dude, come on, the animators in South Park did better than this.
Oh, wow!
I'm in it until the eclipse. Then I'm out. All right, I'm here for a good time until the eclipse happens, and then I'm out. I'm gone.
You know what might actually work for as a live action. Now that I think of it, and I don't know why I didn't think of it before. The Fate Stay Night series actually has like a lot of like just grounded like stuff. Even the magic feels like.
And
it could be, you know, it's not so overwhelming in the magic and the effects that would take away from that story. And I think it would be really dope. Confusing as all hell to keep up with that timeline. Have fun with that.
Fate Stay is actually a good pick because I agree with you with that because they can actually make an original adapted story. There are so many different Fate Stay stories. You don't have to. You just you stay true to what the concept is,
right?
But you tell your own story involving the characters and all that.
That's another one I have to get back into. I stopped around like Grand Order, I think, and I have to like finish that. There's
you know what you can do? I got one since we're doing this. I was thinking about it. Vampire Hunter D.
I never watched that as a kid, but it just never came up for me.
You've never seen it?
Have never seen
it.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god!
So as much anime as I've binged, I've missed like Trigun, Outlaw Star, Vampire Hunter D. But then I watched like Yu Hakusho, Tenchi Muyo, Cowboy Bebop. Like I literally did the other spectrum, like Ronin Warriors, like.
Dude, I did all the other Hunter stuff. D Bloodlust is incredible.
I've heard. I just haven't gotten to get it back.
Incredible. Like
bro, it was so incredible that someone stole my copy.
I still in all seriousness, because I heard
like,
Hellsing is amazing and
Hellsing
is also loves it.
Hellsing is also really good, especially when they redid it. But Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, with the way that the main vampire is, and him going after the girl that he has to go save, it's essentially like Strahd in Ariana.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not like in a bad way, but like he's not like he loves her, like he loves her and all of this and all this stuff.
Wow. Wow. We're not doing Michelle, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Listen, yo, dude. I mean, like, come on, like I have a Rolodex. I don't have the Rolodex of anime that both of you have.
I can literally give you the CVS receipt of my anime that I've watched. Trust me.
But,
we're not doing this.
Dude, oh my God. With the fucking talking hand. Dude, seriously, man? You've never seen...
I know it. So it's one of those things. I know what it is.
And I might buy that shit on Blu-ray. So when you come over, we can watch this shit.
I'd be down. Listen, I was a Gundam kid. Man. I was a Gundam Wing, G Gundam, like basically the Toonami stuff. But I didn't watch all of the Toonami stuff because I literally watched most of it with my stepdad, and the rest every once in a while when I can catch it.
Did you ever see Blood the Last Vampire?
I did. I didn't watch all of it. I did remember watching it.
Which series? Because you had the first movie.
I watched the first. I just watched the first movie, like the 45-minute movie.
Then you had the series. You had two different series actually.
And I know like C what was it?
Blood C, Blood plus C was something like that.
Something like that.
Same character. And then there was another one that makes the rounds for Bloody Deaths. But yeah, it's really interesting where it was this one movie that they did, and then it went on to like, okay, we had this series with her and her butler, who was like a servant or something like that, and then we had this other series where it kind of like, it was trying to say that it was the same character from the movie, but it wasn't. It's like she was kind of brainwashed, and this corporation just had her living on this reservation with actors that were acting like they were in the town and everything. And then they just had her fighting like these monsters. It was like some crazy shit. And I was like, at the end, it's just fucking Massacre City. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, she was a
one that you guys have not watched, and I'm pretty sure you guys haven't watched, and I guarantee would make a great adaptation, is Death Parade. First of all, the Death Parade opening.
Listen, Law, you saying an anime that Seabass hasn't watched. I mean, listen, he watches all the range of animes.
But this is true. But Death Parade, the
someone has to rate him.
The opening sequence, no, you take that burden off your shoulders, sir. Yeah. It doesn't have to be you. It does not have to be you.
Yeah.
But that opening
sequence, I see him, so I can warn you guys.
Is amazing, and then the series itself would be really good because it literally deals with the afterlife, but it doesn't deal with it in a very like there's monsters and all. It has very few things, but it has enough horror. It has enough this. That would be amazing. Oh, give me a Death Parade.
Well, it would be a good anthology horror series. A good horror series anthology would be Devil Girl. Devil Girl would make a really good, because that's what it was essentially as the anime. It was like pretty much there's this little bit of this overarching story, but it's like you're seeing each episode and it deals with like, people going to like, I could see them going like, kids are going to, I'm going to go to the Devil Girl app and all that to call Devil Girl and everything. You could literally migrated into that because it was like people going to a website and then they type someone's name in and then Devil Girl appeared and cause a death for them, something like that. And it was pretty good. It was a good show, and I could see that being a good.
Before Death Note?
It was Death Note before Death Note, I guess. I don't know. It was probably influenced by it, but and then probably influenced by doing all the shit.
Speaking of Death Note, Seabass, because you watched Death Parade, did you catch the Death Note cameo?
Oh, I missed it. I gotta go back and watch it again.
Zayas actually told me about it. He was like, there's a Death Note cameo. And I was like, huh? And then I looked and I was like, oh. So I won't spoil it for anyone who wants to watch Death Parade. It is on Hulu. It is like literally one season. I'm mad that they don't have it for more.
It's just there are some animes that you just want.
I was like, I'm mad you watched that. I feel sorry that you watched it, Michelle.
Yeah,
you should have known.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Michelle. I watched it. I was there too. Like I said, I watch all the bad stuff too. So the others don't have to.
I think you guys won. It was before I was like a main cast, and I was just like, let's not. I'm not watching it. Like y'all can't pay me enough to watch it.
I'll listen to Willem Dafoe be a fucking death demon. But I'm not watching that
all the time. I'm so here for him as Ryuk. But
yeah,
I'm like, no.
But everything else, no, I'm good.
Now I gotta watch all the other stuff because I'm a co-host and gotta watch all the stuff that Seabass tells me I gotta watch. Trash.
We have good stuff coming up. Listen, I'm excited for The Witcher season 2.
Yep, there you go.
We have He-Man Revelations part 2 just came out today.
Also, Ghostbusters. I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but Ghostbusters.
I don't know, man. There's just so much.
Amazing.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
Look, Drew. Drew is a huge Ghostbusters dude, and he was like, I cried. I was like,
really?
Yo, matter of fact, Ziggo did too. From Comic 2, Ziggo was like, yo, I didn't know how much I was gonna love this movie. I've heard like some people bash it, but like when my friends who are die-hard Ghostbuster fans are like, yo, thumbs up, I'm like, oh shit. All right, cool. So we got Death Note. We have Death Note. Why am I saying Death Note? God damn it. I was reading.
We've got The Witcher, we've got He-Man, we've got Spider-Man, we've got Book of Boba, we've got Hawkeye.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to fit all that, man. That's a lot of stuff.
We're definitely talking. Okay.
Also, wait, are we doing the Critical Role like series when it comes out?
I don't watch Critical Role,
but the animated series.
Oh yes,
I was like, I know you don't watch it, but the animated series is gonna be so good.
I will watch the anime series.
Ghostbusters, the love letters to Ghost.
Listen,
come on, man.
I will watch the anime. I mean, honestly, I don't watch Critical Role because the same reason why I don't watch Twitch. I'd rather play the activity than watch someone play the activity.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys should watch Arcane. Arcane got signed on for season 2. Arcane is really beautifully done. You don't need to know League of Legends or be into League of Legends stuff. It's a great origin story for characters that people don't know about. And the animation again was just really spot on and beautiful.
Right. I don't want to go down that. I don't want to go down that lore hole. Also,
today
Wheel of Time.
We're gonna end it with the one thing to recommend that people watch for the holidays, and then we'll start wrapping up. Cool.
Well, I want to give thanks though. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone who watches us. Thank you. This is what we are very thankful for, and we do want to wish all you happy Thanksgiving. But yes, let's go. Yes, it is. All right. So start with your recommendations.
If you guys, I don't know how many of you guys are creatives out there. I know a lot of us are, and a lot of us are people who appreciate artists and appreciate creatives in that journey. I saw Tick Tick Boom, and I got to see a screening of it, and I saw the cast and crew and Lin-Manuel talk about it. That is literally a love letter to creators and creatives. It is such a beautiful movie. I bawled. It was so good. I'm not even a big musical person, and that movie was just so well told. So if you want to watch a good movie, I would recommend Tick Tick Boom. I'll think of a show. I'm not sure about shows, but for movies, Tick Tick Boom, for sure. I'm going to tag Tone.
Oh shit!
Shit, indeed. I saw you over there looking in the distance over the yonder.
I don't have anything. Listen, okay, you know what? Read Invincible.
Especially considering we're getting season 2.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Read it. I mean, we are getting season 2 of Invincible, but fucking read it. Fucking read it. You were saying Wheel of Time. You were saying Wheel of Time. Well, I haven't watched it yet. Me and Jack haven't watched it yet, so that's something we're probably going to start watching. We'll probably start on Thursday. I'm hearing it's super dense and there's a lot of shit, and you won't know what's going on. So it sounds right up my alley. Will I read the books? That's 13 books. I don't know if I'm committed yet. Don't know because I'm still reading Dune. And if I start a series, either I'm going to stop or I'm going to go through.
A good series, Leverage Redemption. If you guys have Amazon Prime, Leverage Redemption. If you guys love Leverage, it is so good, so good. It is such a I binged both parts of the of that miniseries. Dexter, I'm still on the fence about. Well, Dexter is a to be determined.
Listen, get yourself a cup of coffee or whatever caffeinated or non-caffeinated beverage that you drink. Get yourself a nice comfy chair like that we have. Kick your feet up. Get your tablet. Go to Comixology. Pay for Comixology Plus for $5. And you'll read the first half of the Invincible series.
Comixology, sponsor us, please.
Right? And you're going to read it. And then after you finish that first half, you're going to be like, man, thank you, Tone. Thank you for recommending an incredible indie comic that's amazing. It's incredible. It truly is incredible. And then you're going to go after you finish your first half of it, because that's provided to you for your Comixology Plus subscription. You'll then purchase the other half of the series and be like, Tone was right. This shit's amazing. And Omni-Man's fucking journey, even if you watch it and you think Omni-Man's a son of a bitch, because he is, but that man's journey, my God, It's fucking awesome. I fucking love Incredible. It's so good. Invincible. I love it. It's so good. It is so good.
It is incredible.
It is Invincible is incredible. Yes.
Seabass, what you got for us? What do you recommend?
I'm gonna recommend.
Normally, I would not recommend anything that comes out of your mouth. So.
Oh damn! I don't recommend bad stuff. I only ask you to watch bad stuff.
That man is a whole liar, folks. Because Viatone have been through this process too long to have him come up on this show and lie to y'all. Don't let him lie to you.
I gotta go. Well, Killjoys, because when someone brought up Outlaw Star, I immediately thought Killjoys. Again, it was a show on Sci-Fi, and I think it's still going on right now. And the actress who plays Dutch, the main character, she was Ghost in Ant-Man 2, and she's playing Jill Valentine in the new Resident Evil movie. That's when I first got introduced to that actress, was on Killjoys, and it's just a great overarching show, which I recommend people who love just sci-fi, watching bounty hunters and stuff like that, and just one another sci-fi universe to pretty much deep dive into. Another thing I'm going to recommend is listen to the Medusa's Cascade podcast. Every Saturday.
Shameful plug.
D&D.
Shameful plug. I was gonna say dabble in D&D. Yeah, I play that, and then if you need people to play,
that's a
let us know.
Family kind of thing.
Let us know if you need people to play, and then if you want someone to kill your monster, let your boy know.
Yo, Toad is out here just destroying people's monsters. Oh, it is great. Just give him a paladin. All day with this paladin. He's like, I can smite? Bet.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good recommendation. Play D&D. Listen to the D&D podcast while you're playing D&D.
Yeah.
Medusa's Cascade. Remember, I played the Lovable Kyver. That's the awesome Zex. And that's the badass Galahad right there. There you go.
Right,
a man of many cloaks.
Man of many cloaks and counting. Oh man, it's gonna be like a patchwork kind of cloak going on, and I'm here for it. It's gonna be like your
It's the cloak of protection where tiger displacement.
I'm mad. I'm gonna end it with that. So again, we want to wish you all out there to have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Gobble day, be there with the family and everything. We thank you guys for tuning in tonight.
Be good, be safe, be fed, be merry, all that.
Yep.
And drink lots of coquito, because I know I am.
Whatever, eat heavy, get seconds, get your to-go plate, hide them shits.
Yep.
We know about it.
Do due diligence. make sure you bring your own personal trays. Yep. Bring that aluminum foil.
Yep.
All that.
Get your Tupperware. Put it in the back of the fridge.
Yep.
Get that mac and cheese before anyone else gets it. You know the drill, man. Who am I talking to? Y'all know the drill.
Get it together. Together.
Or in my household,
you get
absolutely coquito.
The sweet potato casserole.
I just opened the show up with coquito. Well, I came in late, but it was a.
I cannot wait for my wife's sweet potato casserole, bro. Cannot wait.
Oh man, I'm missing everything.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. All right, guys.
Let's sign off.
Everybody.
Noches. Later. Hit that beautiful B music one.